Hello and welcome to Louise Singleton Creations. In today's video I'll be trying out an idea I had to decorate my Aqua Cast jars with watercolour pencils for a more controlled way of colouring my finished pieces. Today you'll see me try out 6 new Christmas jar moulds and decorate 3 of them to make a trio of snack pots for Christmas nibbles. If that sounds interesting, stay tuned and enjoy the video. Here are the moulds I received in a surprise package from Boo and Nicole. I was blown away when I opened the box to find all of these inside. I decided not to look on the website to see how they would look because I wanted another surprise. But I could see that they were Christmas bauble shaped jars, and I could also get a clue from the mould housing about what the pattern would be like. I wanted to cast them all in this video, which I knew would be a lot of work, so I decided to keep it nice and simple and not colour the Aqua Cast casting compound. I just left it white and decided to decorate them after I'd cast them. They looked like they were all roughly the same size, so I worked out the volume of one of them and used the Aqua Cast calculator on the Elichem website to work out how much water and how much powder I would need. And I hoped that it would be the same for all of them. And as it turned out, it was. First, I always measure out the water and then add the powder to that, and then give it a really good stir. If you're new to my channel, you might not actually know what Aqua Cast is. Well, it's a casting compound similar to plaster of Paris, but different. It's better because it's got an added polymer, which makes it stronger and it makes it accept pigments really well. So you can get really deep, vibrant colours with it, which is something you can't get with plaster of Paris. Another great thing about it is that without pigment in it, it's food safe, which is good because today I'm making snack pots. These moulds are also perfect for making candle jars, but that will have to be for another video. Right, let's get on with filling the first mould. Now, some of these moulds have a lot of detail in them, and it requires a lot of time and patience when filling them. It's not going to be just a case of pouring in the Aqua Cast and waiting for it to cure. You need to help it along because all those little bits of detail in the mould are perfect places to catch the little micro bubbles as they rise up, trying to escape from the mould. They kind of get lodged in there. And so in a way, I wish I'd done my most detailed mould first of all, because I think I did it last, and by that time I'd gotten to number 6 and I was getting a bit fed up of filling moulds, and I didn't spend as much time as I am doing here, and you'll see what happened in a while. But onto this one, as you can see, I'm adding just a little bit at a time and kind of covering the whole surface and squeezing it from the middle as well. That really helps a lot, just to make sure it's all fully coated. Now, when I first started using these kind of moulds from Boo and Nicole with those fabulous mould housing supports, I took the mould housing off, filled the mould and then put the mould housing back on. I thought that was the best way of doing it because you could give it a really good squeeze all the way around. But I discovered that that's not the best way. If you fill it and then clip on that magnetic mould housing that you can see that's already on it, it can kind of cause like a strange pattern in your Aqua Cast, like a crease in there or a crack. It's really strange, so I wouldn't recommend putting the mould housing on after filling the mould. Have it on right from the beginning like I have there, and it's much, much better. For the lid, I followed the same process, doing it very slowly. These moulds do all have a very intricate little handle on the top of the lid, so I like to just add a little bit of the Aqua Cast and then give the bottom where the handle is a really good squeeze, as you can see here, to make sure there's no pockets of air trapped in there. So as you will imagine, I spent a lot of time that morning filling moulds and mixing Aquacast, and I'm not going to show you me doing exactly the same thing 6 times. You really don't need to see that, do you? So take it from me, after doing this one, I did the same thing again and again and again and again and again. And here they all are, about an hour and a half later, waiting for their mega unmolding session. Here you'll see how easy it is to remove the mould housing due to those magnets on there. There's no elastic bands or bulldog clips necessary, they just clip together with magnets, so it's nice and easy to put them on and take them off. So this process did take quite a long time actually. I think I got quicker as I went along. You find your techniques, don't you? And I found that rolling it down with your hands is the way to go. The only thing is you could do with 3 hands. Luckily I've got quite big hands, so I managed it in the end. You've just got to get that technique anyway. The thing that I was mentioning before about the really detailed one, well, that's this one here. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh no, because I don't know if you can see on your screens, but all of those little bumps on there, they all had an air bubble trapped in them. It was really quite bad. And I thought, hang on a minute, I'm going to have to do this one again. And I did. I did another one of these. All the rest turned out okay. It was just this one that's really detailed. I don't think I patted the sides of the mould enough. So there were loads and loads of air pockets trapped. Anyway, while I did another one and waited for the new one to cure, I actually used this one as my practice one and ended up finding a way to cover up all the imperfections, and I ended up using that one. So yeah, I just wanted to update you on the story of that, because you might be wondering why I ended up with 2 of the same if I didn't explain. And now, with the power of video editing, I'm going to make the rest of the unmolding just a little bit quicker. I will see you again after a musical interlude. And here's the last one, the carousel one, which I love to bits. I mean, honestly, I love them all. I'm so lucky to have been sent them. But yeah, I think this one's my favourite. It's gorgeous. Now, you might have noticed that they all have a little bit of extra Aqua Cast inside the handle. All you need to do is find a pointy tool and kind of push it, and it just breaks off easily. And as you can see there, I'm just going round, smoothing it out, and it's very easy to rectify. So here's a close-up look of all of them. I think I've already mentioned that I won't be decorating all of them today. I just don't have the time. But you will see 3 of these completed, and yeah, I think they all look fabulous. All that detail is just beautiful, isn't it? You just want to stroke them. Boo and Nicole never let me down. They always have such beautiful detail in their moulds. And now it's time to get started with the decoration. I did wait until the next day. You don't have to, but it is best to let them dry out a little bit. I haven't sealed them either, just in case anyone wants to know that. They're not sealed, they're just going to be coloured and painted. Well, do I call it colouring or do I call it painting? It's kind of both, but I'm going to be doing it without sealing it. That's all I was trying to say. I actually bought these watercolour pencils recently for a completely different job, and they were just in my craft room, and that's why I got the idea. I'm also going to be using acrylic pens just a little bit for a small detail, but that is another option that you have. Another thing you'll see me using is gold pens, metallic gold pens, and they really do make a massive difference. I've got quite a thick chrome marker for the bigger bits and a very fine pilot one for the smaller details. So at some point during this next part, you will be thinking to yourself, why are you using watercolour pencils? Why don't you just use watercolours with a paintbrush? It'll be a lot quicker. And yes, it would be a lot quicker, especially for the background, and I could have done that. But what I really love about using these pencils is the amount of control you have over the colour. You can put it on very precisely and then wet it just with, water on a paintbrush to blend it down to make it look like it's been painted on. And that way you're not risking getting paint everywhere and for it to go running where you don't want it to run. I just love the control you have with these pencils. As you can see here on a very detailed part that I'm doing, it's probably not the best place to start with showing you how these work because you can't see it very well with that pale colour. But you'll see more of it very soon. I did find that these pencils worked really well for the horses. Well, I think you have the gist of how it's going to work with the watercolour pencils, and you don't need me waffling on about, I don't know, anything. Just trying to think of things to talk about whilst you're watching me do it. So I'm going to put some music on and I'll be back with you very soon. So you will see the carousel jar again very soon, and we'll have a much better look at it. But for now, we're on to the next one. I'm not going to show you all of the painting, colouring, whatever you want to call it, because as I've just shown you, it took a long time, and it's just the same thing again. What I'm going to do instead with this one is show you some of the things I did with this that I didn't do with the other one. So the first thing I'll show you that was different this time was the acrylic painter pen that I used. I found it was much easier for these details to use the acrylic pen than it was with the pencil crayon. I kept kind of slipping off it with the crayon. So yeah, the painter pen was much better, much more accurate, and a much more vibrant colour. It really stood out really well. And the next thing, which turned out to be a real game changer, was liquid pearls, and this is bisque colour liquid pearls. And all I did was I squeezed it onto each of those raised dots, and yes, there's a lot of dots there, and yes, it did take me a long time, but why do we need to be in a rush? We don't need to spend our lives rushing, do we? Sometimes it's nice to take your time. And I spent a long time going over all of those dots with the liquid pearls because there were a lot of trapped bubbles in those details. Out of all of the moulds, this one was the trickiest when it came to bubbles being trapped. And this really did disguise them nicely. And you'll see that one again in just a moment, but for now we're going back to the carousel one because it's time to seal it. I'm using Clark's wax for stone and concrete to seal this. And the reason I'm using it is because it's food grade, as you can see there. It's 100% natural and it smells beautiful as well. It smells of lemons and oranges. And so that's why I'm using the wax to seal this, because I'm going to be putting some nuts into my jar for Christmas snacks. I also used it on the outside, which was a bit tricky because obviously I'm rubbing it with the cloth and there's all those raised areas. But I was a little bit concerned about using a water-based sealant on the outside because obviously anything with water in could make my paints run that I'd just put on. So I thought, oh yeah, I best not use water-based sealant on the outside, which would have been much easier to apply with a big fat brush. But no, I didn't risk it. And for the outside, I used the wax as well, which always looks nice anyway. You get a lovely soft sheen with the wax. And I did the same thing with the other two jars, which were both the same. Obviously I didn't show you the making of both of them, but I told you the story of why I ended up with two right at the beginning, didn't I? Anyway, I thought it would be nice to see the three of them with two identical ones at either end because I like symmetry. I'm a bit funny like that, so yeah, it worked out really well. Let's see them all together. And here they are. I think they go really well together because I've used the same colours for them all, and yeah, it makes a lovely set, doesn't it? I know they're not traditional Christmas colours, but I get bored of going with what people would expect. You know, I don't want to do reds and greens every time I make something for Christmas. We don't need to, do we? It still looks Christmassy and pretty, and I love them. I thoroughly enjoyed using the watercolour pencils on the Aqua Cast. I think they worked perfectly and it gave me such good control over the colours without drips of paint going all over the place. If you're interested in viewing or purchasing Aqua Cast, you can purchase it in the UK from Elichem Resins or in America from Laura's Art Corner. Discount codes and links will be in the video description. Also, there will be links for the moulds and a discount code for those as well. If you've enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to, and I will see you again next time. Thank you for watching and bye for now.